Don't let the algorithm steal your affections for God. Don't let the algorithm steal your affections for God. In this edition of Connecting Faith and Life. Everybody, welcome to this edition of Connecting Faith and Life. I'm your host, Mr. Brown. I said that kind of fast. I wasn't quite ready as I was doing other stuff here to get ready for the podcast. But as I said in the opening, don't let the algorithm steal your affections for God. I'm going to talk about that in this edition of Connecting Faith and Life. And the reality is, I am so happy that I said the word algorithm correctly, if I said it correctly. I really struggle with saying that word sometimes. But what I mean by that is we live in a world of social media. There are so many social media platforms. There's some that I had never heard of before. I recently found out about, but people are getting on all these different apps and on the internet to connect with people. And unfortunately, sometimes it's a pseudo connection because you feel like connected people. See, back in the day, we watched television a lot and we felt like we knew those actors, only come out to find out they were just acting. Like they really aren't the people that they pretend to be, because truthfully, they're pretending. I heard somebody say this about watching television, that we are watching people pretend to live life. And if we weren't watching them pretend, we can live life ourselves. And that always stuck with me, because sometimes we spend time watching these people on these shows and we think we know them, but we don't know them. And I think in the same way, or now I think in a different way, but I think a more sinister way, that we are watching social media and sometimes because we watch certain people, we think, well, that's what everybody thinks, because the algorithm works to show you what it thinks you want to see, or what you click on a few things, all of a sudden you've seen all day you see the same things. My wife's looking for something. Oh, she's looking for typewriters one day. And so I started looking for typewriters, and all of a sudden I started getting all these typewriters in my feed. And the same thing happens to me now. And I will admit, I got to change some things in what I'm watching on YouTube. And I have 7 YouTube channels. And so I'm on YouTube posting things, but also I get sidetracked, start looking at stuff. And so often where I find myself looking at things, I feel this angst, or it's stealing my affections for what I think is right. So I'm going to talk about this today in this podcast, and I'm going to open up some scriptures with you and show you some things. Hopefully it can help you. Very, very practical. So I want this podcast to be about connecting faith and life, taking our faith, what we believe about God, the Bible, creation, who God made us to be, and connecting our daily lives so we can walk in a way pleasing to the Lord, as we did in the previous podcast, whether by life or by death, that I'm honoring God in my body. No matter how I live, I want to honor God. So that's what I'm talking about today, because I think the world's after our minds, not just our minds, but our heart, our affections. And so we got to be careful that we're not allowing the algorithm to steal our affections from God. And I look at a very practical way for me, because I get into politics sometime, and I get into some of the things that I think, man, it's so harmful, the things that people are pushing and believe these days. And I know the Bible says, I think in Thessalonians, where it talks about God will send this delusion among people. And I believe we live in a delusional society where right is wrong and wrong is right, where we're looking you in the face and telling you what you see is not what you see, because people have these agendas and that stuff is pushed on us. And so we got to be very careful. We don't allow the things of this world to steal our affections for God. And the verse that I thought about was Colossians chapter 3. So if you look at Colossians chapter 3, I'm going to get my Bible open here. Colossians chapter 3 talks about this idea. And actually in the King James Version, it says affections for God. Maybe I'm going to look at the King James. You're going to see some these and thous in a moment. Here we go. This is where I learned the verse. The first time I heard it is in Colossians chapter 3, verse 1, in the King James Version. It says, if ye then, being risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth on the right hand of God. Set your affections on the things above, not on things of this earth. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in God. Now, that word affections, the other translations translate it as your minds. The English Standard Version says, set your minds on things that are above, not on things on the earth. For you have died and your life is hidden with Christ in God. And I think for me, the algorithm does attempt to push my mind and my affections toward the things of this world and not the things of God. I'm not saying we can't be involved with the world. We've been called to be in the world, but not living based on accordance of the patterns of the world. But we are to be in this world. But here Paul is telling us, be careful. Don't set your minds on things above, not on things of the earth, because those things will lead us down in a downward pattern. And again, I bring up the algorithm, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media is out by the time you're watching this, they all have these computers and these systems, these plans, and now with AI really knowing you and studying you and gives you those things. And sometimes they can be those dopamine hits. I don't know if you're in the politics too, but it was saying get you all anxious. Now you're on this bandwagon, you want to go fight the world on this one crusade. And it's funny because I think we're living in such a divided world, especially on politics. Like we're more angry at other people than we are celebrating our own thing. And I, just please don't take this political. I'm not taking a political side. It's just something I just noticed. Right recently, President Obama opened up his library. Right, and I saw different clips about it, and people like it, hate it. That's going to be some people love it, some people hate it, whatever. But then I saw another believer, Christian that I know, that she posted, and what she posted about this thing was how, at some point, I guess Michelle Obama was giving us some slide remarks or some remarks about President Trump, some negative things. I don't know how she worded it, but I thought to myself, here you are celebrating something for you, and instead of celebrating, we're throwing digs at other people. And I think we all can be that way. And that's sad that it's stealing this what should be a celebration of the accomplishments, but yet instead of doing that, you're throwing jabs at other people. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying, I'm just recognizing that, because I think we can all be put in that situation where we're, instead of celebrating, we're throwing jabs because we feel like it's our duty to throw jabs at people and not take the time to celebrate what's positive. And my focus is this. I want to make sure that I am not allowing the algorithm, this program, to steal my affections for God. That when I should be spending time with God or focusing on the things of God or being grateful, having gratitude for what God has done in my life, the algorithm tells me, hey, look at those people that are doing that. Look at those people doing this. And so much injustice over here. You're getting slighted. Those people have too much money. You should have some of their money. There's not enough of this, not enough of that. And you're right. And I begin to just not be grateful. I was going to wear a shirt that said gratitude today, because I think some of the algorithm, not only algorithm, but ads. Did you ever notice this? That ads or commercials, they all tell you this one message. You're not happy unless you have our product. They want to convince you that you are unsatisfied unless you buy their product or service. Think about that. And the algorithms are, you click on, I dare you to click on one ad on Facebook, and guess what will happen? You'll start seeing it on other social media networks, your internet feed, your search, it'll start popping up because they're saying, hey, you thought you needed this? And you're right, you need this. And you won't be happy, you won't be satisfied until you get our product. And it can lead us into a lot of angst. And so while I'm saying don't let the algorithm steal your affections for God, don't let anything steal your affections for God, your affections and your mind. We got to be intentional about setting our mind to seek the things of God, not things of this world. Look what Paul said again, going back to Colossians chapter 1. If then, or since then, you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is at the right hand of God. Set your minds. That sounds like intentional. I need to be intentional about setting my mind. Like, what are you doing when you wake up in the morning? What's the first thing you look at? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Is it YouTube? Somebody say, ouch. Yeah. Do we look at those things before we spend time with God? I heard one preacher say, he used to wear house shoes in his house because the floors were really cold. And so what he would do when he went to bed at night, he would take his house shoes and shove them way under the bed. Therefore, when he got up in the morning, when he touched the ground, he realized he needed his house shoes because the floors are cold. Therefore, he'd have to get on his knees and go under the bed to find them. So he would pray. He would spend some time in prayer while he was on his knees. And I think that's a great picture of setting your mind. You're choosing to do some things, to put some things in place. Some people call them habits. I like calling them rhythms. You're putting some rhythms in place in your life that will help you set your mind on things that are above and not things on this earth. I think sometimes we try to live by default. We try to live by chance and not by choice, where we allow the world come to us versus planning our day. So he says, set your mind on things that are above, not on things of this earth. So what things do you have in your life that helps you set your things? And I'm not bragging, but I'm very grateful for my mindset to listen to Christian music in the car, my mindset to listen to preaching in the car. For the last 4 weeks, I've been teaching in Sunday school, all 3 services. So I haven't been able to listen to the sermon. I haven't been able to go to service, but I make sure that I listen to the pastor's sermon sometime during the week. It's been great. We've been going through the book of James, and it's been amazing to listen to the book of James, And not only that, but I found this group called Rhythm and Bible, and they've taken just the scriptures themselves and put them different beats, and it's really nice. And so I've been listening to a lot of James lately, and it's been great to reinforce that truth in my mind, and that's being intentional. When I'm in my car, I'm being intentional about what is coming in my mind. Listen to. I got to be the same way when it comes to on my phone, when I'm looking at YouTube, when I'm posting stuff. I got to be more intentional, set my mind on things that are above, not on things of this earth. Because slowly but surely, I'll start getting angsty and start wanting to fight other people and argue and post things. And because it's my affections are being impacted by what I read, what I watch, what I consume. Because what we consume will one day consume us. We have to be very careful that we don't allow ourselves to be consumed by the algorithm or anything else for that matter. Look what he says, verse 3, "For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. I am no longer the person who has to be so wrapped up in the world." As a matter of fact, let me find another scripture real quick. 1 John 2:15. Look that up real quick. 1 John 2:15 talks about the fact that we should not love this world. The world wants us to be in love with it. The world wants us to be just like the world. I always refer to Romans chapter 12, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Here's our word again, mind. He wants our minds to be set on things that are above, and we have to be intentional, living by choice and not by chance, because it's not going to happen by chance. It has to be a choice. But in 1 John chapter 2, verse 15, Paul is very clear about how we should feel about the world. He says this, John, do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life is not from the Father, but from the world. And the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. So Paul is I keep saying Paul because I usually teach on a lot of Paul stuff, but John is very clear here. Do not love the world. And I think the world wants us our affection to be toward the world, that we want to be like the world. We want to have and be and do. We want the pride of life. We want to have the cars and the money and all those things because we see it all the time. And it's always put in front of us that you won't be happy or fulfilled unless you drive this car, unless you have this new Tesla. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with having a Tesla necessarily, but where's my heart? And I'll be honest, like I have a lot of cameras. I have a lot of cameras, and I'm actually trying to sell a few of them now because I don't want the cameras just to sit in the ones I'm not using anymore just to collect dust. I want them to be used. I want them to be used by the people who can use them. But I have a lot of cameras, and there's new ones that come out all the time. And I watched 1 or 2 videos on this new camera that came out. It's the Insta360 Luna camera. And it's got this dual camera, so it's really small. I have a lot of portable cameras, and I want it. I really do want it. I can't afford it right now. I wish I could sell some of my other ones. I probably should sell some others before I get that one. But I'm telling you, I watched 1 or 2 videos, and now my feed, all these different videos, and I'm tempted to watch it. And every time I watch it, my affections are like, "Ooh, I want that camera." But I don't need it right now. I can't. I use what I have already. And there's nothing wrong with the camera, but it's my heart. Do I feel like I'm missing out? Do I feel like I'm not enough if I don't have that camera? I do want it, but is it the proper time? Do I need it? Do I have something else I can use in the meantime? And so I think I got to be careful not to keep watching these videos because it's convincing me that you need it. Look at all those other creators. They got that camera. Look what it can do. It does all this stuff, but I don't have the finances for it right now, and I don't need it right now. And think about that. That's a camera thing, but think about all the other things that are being pushed on us every day. And we got to be careful that the algorithm does not control our affections. Because here's a question I heard a preacher say a while back, and I keep coming back to it. Are the things you're consuming, are they stirring your affections for God or stealing your affections for God? Where's your mind? Where's your heart? And some of it comes down to what we're watching and what we're listening to. Um, People often ask, what kind of music should we be listening to? That comes up a lot. What kind of TV shows should we be watching? And I always look at the Philippians chapter 4. Maybe we should call it the Philippians chapter 4 criteria or standard. I don't know if I come up with a word for it. But Philippians chapter 4 kind of gives this insight to where our minds should be, because our minds are so important. Our minds do control where we go, what we think, how we live. And we could pretend that it doesn't, but I believe it does. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 gives me a clear idea about what I should be doing, where my mind should be. Look at what it says. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. This is Philippians chapter 2. Let me scroll down to 4. That's 3. Here's 4. 4, 8. Sorry if that makes you dizzy. Chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers. Let's look at the Christian Standard Bible, because it also says sisters. Here we go. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever's true, whatever's honorable, whatever's just, whatever's pure, whatever's lovely, whatever's commendable, if there's any moral excellence, and if there's anything praiseworthy, dwell, some versions say think, on these things. I like that. Dwell, that idea of dwelling and like marinating on these things. Look for those type of things that are pure, that are lovely, that are commendable. And I was watching a show the other day, and all of a sudden, boom, this scene popped up. That's not lovely. That's not commendable. That's definitely not pure. I got to be careful. Let's look at something else. And then why am I using my time doing it anyway? Like I said in the previous podcast, if I didn't say it in this one, watching television, I said in this one, I think I said in this one, but watching someone else pretend to be living life, I could be living life. I wasn't watching them pretend they were living life. So think about those things. Again, the idea is don't let the algorithm or anything else for that matter steal your affections for God. And for that to happen, you got to be very practical. So I want to challenge you. What are you doing the first thing in the morning? Maybe just pick one thing. I was working with a friend the other day, and she was doing a workshop for these educators, and she was telling them about how to help teach kids in a way that works with their brain, not against their brain. And it was a lot of information. And she really challenged educators. Hey, pick one thing. Don't try to do it all. Just pick one thing that you can practice, see if it works, and pick something else up. So I want to challenge you. What's one thing you can do to make sure you're setting your mind on things of God first thing in the morning? What's one thing you can do? Maybe it's not pick up your phone right away. Maybe it's have your alarm set, or if you have certain phones, you can set some kind of they call them shortcuts, that when you pick up your phone, the first thing that pops up is your Bible. That sounds really, really religious and really, really, I don't know if you think it's strange. I think it's great, but we all get stuck in the trap. So can you do some things practically? Maybe, some people have these apps where you got to do certain things before you can get on your social media accounts. It may sound silly, but it's very practical, and it's something that can help you, because I know we're in a battle. We're in a battle for our minds, battle for our affections and our hearts. And we need to make sure that we're setting our things on the things of God, not on the things of the world. Let me end with the passage again. Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. Let me get back there. Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. If you then been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things that are above and not on things of the earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. Don't let the algorithm steal your affections for God. Be intentional, live by choice and not by chance. And hopefully that will help you live for God by connecting faith and life. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And if you have not become one, you can become a Proclaim partner by donating at least $5 a month to help us continue creating content like this for you and for kids. Because our goal is to help kids and teens connect faith and life, and to equip adults like you, maybe your teen watching this, I don't know, to disciple them. So thanks so much for joining us, and I really appreciate your support. And until next time, peace. That was supposed to be smooth, but it wasn't smooth because I forgot to move that thing. I told you I don't want. Bye. See y'all later.